final matchup between these two teams a year ago as we are underway between the Hounds and the Blue Devils, and Savio looking to get that ground ball. And it will be Greyhounds ball indeed, and that is a notable ground ball for Bailey Savio because it moves into a tie all time for the most in Patriot League history. A remarkable feat. We take a look at our starting lineup. It's brought to you by Epic Lacrosse. On the attack, Joey Kamish, Kevin Lindley, and Aiden Olmstead. In the midfield, Evan James, Seth Higgins, and Adam Patra. Defensively, first group, Cam Wires, Kyle LeBlanc, and Matt Hughes. And, of course, Schaefer in goal. He has allowed 38 goals this season, a 13.77 goals against average. And early on, going low but being denied. Adler was hot a week ago, and he picks up where he left off. He had 20 saves against Richmond, and he comes up with an early one. Greyhounds get it back. That shot fired in wide off the stick of Olmstead. So Loyola going to work early in this one, Steve.
Yeah.
One of the best teams in the country, certainly one of the most loaded teams in the country as we meet the starting lineup for the Blue. Nope. Hang on a second.
Yep, quick pickoff there.
And in
easy goal.
Right on the
Boom.
doorstep. There you go. Great transition break opportunity finished off by Lindley to put the Hounds on top.
Yeah, and you can see there, it's great to see Kevin Lindley get going early. He's obviously, one of the most decorated attackers in Loyola history, but he's gotten off to a little bit of a slow start just from a production standpoint. So to get an easy one there off of a ride, it's a great thing to see for the Greyhounds.
Again, the extension from Kamish to go up and get that one. Man, what a play. Called for the push. 30-second penalty, extra man opportunity for the Greyhounds. To Steve's point, just 4 of 13 on the year. And we've seen a few, Steve, that haven't even led to good shot looks.
Wow.
That is perfect.
And there you go. I mean, Evan James with a great skip pass down to Adam Patra. Patra's obviously a very skilled Canadian player, can handle anything in tight. And again, that's what, not only in the settled 6-on-6, but in EMO, you can see Loyola got right into their offense immediately. They wasted no time before, getting into the motion. And they're just letting the ball and the...
It is still just a 2-goal game. James trying to get free, tries the other way. Dumps it underneath.
And
right
there you
underneath.
go.
Great look, Kevin Lindley. He's got 2 in the early going. The Hounds lead 3-0.
Yep, and Evan James is doing a great job. He's obviously an incredibly versatile player. Spent a lot of time last year on attack, but he plays midfield like an attackman. His head is constantly up. He is one of the few Loyola players that. Yep, no, they've been known to press out. They have big athletic guys, and they are going to get out and challenge you.
Of course, he's more susceptible to a move. Oh, what a fire! That's why they're high on Dylan Binney.
Yeah, right on cue. Dylan Binney. That is his specialty. He's he's kind of in the same mold as Lindley, but he can stretch it more than Lindley can. He's a big shooter. He's a guy that might take over for Lindley when his time comes. But yeah, Dylan Binney out of Texas. He's a skilled left-handed player, almost Canadian-like. And as you can see there, a little 2-man game, and he just catches it shot ready. Again, Loyola and he's a threat from everywhere.
Yeah, and all he's done is have a hat trick in half of his 26 games in his career. Pretty remarkable start. And you're only going to keep him down for so long. Brennan O'Neill on the board for the first time today.
Yep.
Devils cut it to 4-1.
And that was nothing spectacular from O'Neill, but that just goes to show you the type of player that he is. I mean, he can he can literally make it happen in a split second. I thought that was actually pretty good defense from Matt Hughes. He took a pretty good angle, and he was right on his gloves. But O'Neill, he really can crank it back, and he gets a lot behind his shot. And
O'Neill and 23rd on the season. It's followed up by Tyler Carpenter ground ball off the faceoff. So another faceoff win. And Duke gets it back, running shot, and there's another. Brennan O'Neill wasting no time, back-to-back goals, 1:27 to play in the first quarter, and Duke has cut Loyola's lead in half.
Yep, and you just said it, Glenn. No lead is safe when you're playing against the Duke Blue Devils. And you just saw an example of something that's really kind of been a transformation for Duke, in my opinion. They are going to push the ball early in offensive possessions a lot. You good as the
no
players
question.
Out east.
Of course, PLL's done a good bit to ingratiate themselves in Southern California. Oh my word, no way. Yeah. That is unbelievable from Kevin Lindley.
Yeah, and Kevin Lindley with the hat trick. That will be the 29th of his career here for the Greyhounds. And I mean, this is huge. It's kind of been almost easy to forget with the Greyhound struggles that Kevin Lindley has gotten off to probably the slowest start of his career, but believe it or not. But only from a production standpoint. I still think he's been playing good lacrosse, but right now he is, he's off to an awesome start today and really filling it up.
But I mean, he's barely even looking at the goal.
He's got Kenny Brower there, Duke's top defenseman, and here comes Savio.
And there's the record, too. Savio lays it off.
There you go.
Another. Oh, boy, making a 4-pack for Lindley.
Yep, absolutely. You could see it, just tic-tac-toe. That's exactly how you draw it up when you're teaching, fast break offense. And, again, Loyola's just moving the ball.
Patra will come away with it. So for Savio, that ground ball moves him past Connor Gaffney.
And there's Lindley again.
Phew, you got to be kidding me.
And a flag down, too, Glenn. It looks like there might be a late hit on Duke.
5th of the day for Lindley. Loyola opens the second quarter on a 3-0 run. They lead 7-2. Let's find out about the penalty. I got to finish the thought that Savio now owns the record for the most ground balls in Patriot League history. Congratulations to Bailey.
Yep, and that's not the only record he's going to be, probably breaking in the year to come. But, man, look at Kevin Lindley.
In 2 games, we approach the midway point of the second quarter. Evan James trying to get free, didn't like it. Keeps it moving. McNulty. Oh, my favorite play in the sport. A long pole goal.
And Ryan McNulty, you could argue he's the most skilled offensive player that the Greyhounds have.
Fair point.
And, that's something that he's done over his career. It's actually really a staple of Loyola Greyhound long stick midfielders. Quite honestly, going back to their assistant coach, Matt Dwan, who kind of reinvented the position as an offensive threat, and guys like P.T. Ritchie and Scott Ratliff and Ryan McNulty is just another in that long legacy of very skilled offensive long stick midfielders for the Greyhounds.
And you're daring him.
And he's a capable dodger versus short stick, especially when he splits.
Kamish spins, feeds it up top. Wigley did well to snag that. Protect possession, lobs it back in the middle, and another for Lindley.
I mean, Lindley is just on fire right now. That was almost like an alley-oop in basketball. Wigley just kind of tossed it up. Lindley back cut his guy, and you can just see Lindley's exceptional skill and soft hands on display there.
We're going to have to start sending somebody through the game notes and the record books to see what the record is for goals and a half.
Yeah, if you look here, Wigley, first off, he makes a great catch, and he kind of just alley-oops it up there to him. Kind of floats it, as you can see right here.
A lot of trust on that pass.
Absolutely. But, again, Kevin Lindley,
James, back down to goal line extended. They keep trying to move it in. You can see Lindley trying to get free, but Duke's doing a good job of finding him on the slide every time. Just 10 seconds remaining on the penalty.
Nice skip.
Good skip. Evan James.
It's exactly how you want. I mean, talk about patience there from Loyola. That was, they really bled it all the way down to the last second there. And then, again, Aiden Olmstead fires a very crisp, right on target, skip pass. Hits Evan James, and Evan James just catches and shoots right away. Gets that shot on Adler immediately and puts it in a great spot.
Olmstead's 3rd assist of the day. Team leading 5th.
No matter how highly touted you are, and he had a really good dodge there to create some offense for Duke on their first possession here in the second half.
What a feed inside, and that is just way too easy for Dyson Williams after the great find from Montgomery. So they get on the board for the first time since the first quarter to cut the lead to 10-3.
Yep, and I think you're going to have to see a heavy dose of Duke's big guns here in the second half. They barely had the ball in the first half, and they were running both lines pretty evenly. But down 10-2, I mean, Montgomery, McAdory, and you're going to see Evan James, go back here on this possession. He's got Aiden Denenza matched up on him right now, offensive midfielder, and Evan James is already one of Loyola's primary initiators.
Patra trying to get free.
He got it.
Somehow gets it to go.
Well,
no.
They're calling it to go. Well, never mind. Patra's just going to initiate and take over.
From goal line extended, 0 angle, but that is the craftiness of those Canadian players.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Again, he's shown that he can score that goal pretty consistently. So while there is 0 angle, I mean, that right there in box lacrosse, that's a normal shot that gets taken all the time. And, he's done that 1,000. Van Arsdale is, now a veteran here at Loyola with 6 years. I mean, these guys, they know Loyola. Also, if you just look at this team, last year, Kamish with a goal.
Running look for Kamish. Sneaks it in. first of the day, make it 12-3.
But to get back to my point, this team is almost exactly identical to the team last year, minus Peter Swindell and minus Matt Higgins. They started off very slow last year. Midway through the year, this season was almost for loss. They turned it around, almost made it to the Final Four. Quite honestly, should have. So this exact group knows how to turn it around. Response, and especially at this point in the game.
Dyson Williams, and that's going to turn into a goal.
Duke's man-up specialist.
Yeah, that's what Cameron Muley does.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's his 5th goal on the year, and he primarily plays extra man offense for the Blue Devils, and that's exactly what he does. You can see he finds space there. Loyola loses him, and he just catches and finishes.
All 5 of his goals this season now.
It was a really nice job by Nakai Montgomery. Duke's really got to score here, in order to give themselves a chance at making a big comeback. It's got to start here.
Also worth pointing out, these 2 staffs as a whole, 2 of the 3 longest tenured staffs in the country. Montgomery's shot turned aside by Schaefer. Oh, but the rebound attempt, he needed a couple tries in order to find it. But when he did.
15 minutes yet today.
Reed Landon, Liam McLean.
And good offensive look right here.
And that'll skip home for Jadon Carey, his first of the season for the senior from Minnesota.
And if nothing else, that's going to be something Coach Janowski's going to, really drive home with his team in the film room. I mean, they're down 12-5. He runs essentially the 3rd midfield line, and within 15 seconds they generate a great shot and score a goal. And he's definitely going to try to drive that home with the first couple of units.
Able to connect their shot attempts in this possession for the Blue Devils. Ball comes loose.
Loyola back into his zone now.
3:40 remaining. Oh, wow. How did that go through? Sometimes just fire him in, see what happens.
Yeah, that was Griffin Catlett. He's a local product out of McDonough, and making the best of his opportunity there.
First of the day, first of the season for Catlett, just sort of skipping it home like a rock.
Yeah, when you're in the zone, you're obviously
got time to be using on these possessions. O'Neal, he's been their best offense today with 3 goals. Back up top. Run continues. Landon, okay, so we're not done yet. Landon converts.
I mean, this 3rd midfield line for the Duke Blue Devils is talk about efficiency. They're 3 for 3. And Reed Landon with just a right to left split, and he stung it. It was a really nice move, followed up by a really nice shot.
Charlie Toomey's not overreacting, but Duke scored the last 5 goals. After 10 first-half goals, Loyola scored just 2 in the second half, but they still have a 4-goal lead. And again, skipping that home. This time it's Robertson. So, cut it to a 3-goal game with 59 seconds remaining. Remarkably, that's Robertson's first today.
Yeah, he's closing in on 200 points for his career. We've discussed. He's just been a remarkably productive player since he arrived at Duke, and is soon to eclipse the 200-point plateau, which is a pretty special.
Trying to force some interesting moments here at the end of the game. Don't have a lot of time to work with. And they're going to get another one. Brennan O'Neal is 4th of the day. There's still life. 2-goal game with 31 seconds left.
Yeah, and Brennan O'Neal just makes a great individual play. I mean, Matt Hughes is in good position. Brennan O'Neal's running upfield. As you can see here, Matt Hughes is coming out. He's in good position, but O'Neal is so big, strong, and fast, and long, and he just is able to shoot the ball with incredible velocity while running up the field. As I say that, I'm completely wrong. They're going man-to-man.
With Razanka matched up. Duke's got a
wow, nice slide.
Big stop for the Greyhounds. Razanka now just trying to run out the rest of these 14 seconds. Duke made it interesting.
And that's why I'm up in the booth and no longer down on the sideline making those decisions.
Worked out perfectly. Loyola will hang on and get a 12-10 victory over Duke here today.